10 Crazy Things Owned by Michael Jordan. What do you do when you're the greatest basketball player of all time? You own ridiculous things. Michael Jordan, also known as MJ and His Airness, was considered the greatest basketball player. Although he has retired from the game, he still owns a lot of crazy things. But what you wouldn't expect is how many stupid things he has held over the years. From a warplane to a helicopter, here are 10 of the strangest things owned by Michael Jordan. Number 1. A World War II fighter jet. While I don't know what MJ was thinking when he bought a World War II fighter jet for $4 million, I'm sure there were many more profitable ways to make a fortune. True, it's an entertaining way to travel. Who wouldn't want to fly to Florida in their fighter jet? But even with all that extra money, it doesn't seem like a wise investment. In the end, one wonders if MJ was crazy or just trying to buy happiness. Either way, we all have great memories of him, and he used it as an inspiration to create the brand of sneaker we know today, the Air Jordan. Number 2. The second largest yacht in the world. This might come as a surprise, but one of Michael Jordan's crazy things is a super yacht. The second largest yacht in the world, Rising Sun, is one of many toys in MJ's collection. This yacht can accommodate 18 guests and 30 crew members and has its helicopter landing pad. According to the Wealth X Celebrity Net Worth study, even after selling his shares in the Charlotte Hornets basketball team for $175 million, partly because he didn't want people to think he owned them for basketball, MJ still has a fortune of about $650 million. It would seem that owning a giant yacht is well within his reach. At least, we can be sure that his super extendable arms are capable of handling such a huge toy. Number 4. Many mansions around the world. During his long and illustrious career, Michael Jordan made no money. With this money, he has bought a large number of mansions. He owned several estates in Chicago, one in Highland Park and one in Lake Michigan, a mansion in Carmel by the Sea, California, and others scattered in other cities, including Charlotte, North Carolina, etc. In addition, he owned what was said to be an incredible house in Blackjack Knob near Charlotte, but it burned down in 1987 when a forest fire swept through Lake Norman. Many people were angry that MJ did not pay taxes on several homes, but he long claimed ignorance. Similarly, before moving permanently into Trump Tower from 1998 to 2003, Jordan rented 16th floor in New York's Helmsley building while owning a $14 million property nearby. The stories of both are crazy. Hotels only allow you a certain number of rooms per floor, so Jordan rented out a few rooms in exorbitant prices just so he could stay there without even spending the night. He spent nearly $1 million a year just to fix up his garden in Chicago. Number 5. An island in Florida. MJ paid $4 million for an undeveloped island in Florida at one point. He later donated it to his mother, but that doesn't make him any less crazy. The same goes for buying a ranch in North Carolina, which he turned into a hunting resort. When he sold the property in 2009 for just over $4.8 million, he still had a 30 years lease to use and visit the land. So it's fair enough to say that Air Jordan has made a pretty good return on his investment. Of course, this being MJ, someone who once said, "I didn't come to basketball for the money, I came to basketball for the championships." This purchase makes perfect sense as an investment and one more way to prove to himself that he's excellent in everything he does. He also bought 2 race horses, spending nearly $10 million on each before selling them 2 years later. And then there's his car collection. Among other things, he bought 6 Ferrari Testarossa and 9 BMWs in a single year. Oops, for a man who spent all his time on basketball court, you'd think he'd have been more careful with his millions. Or maybe he just wanted those great toys. Either way, we can now just shake our heads at how stupid it was for him to spend so much money. What would you have to spend your money on if you were in his position? Let us know in the comments. We're dying to see how you would have reacted in his place. But let's agree not to buy private islands. Is that okay with you? Yes. We know we didn't promise anything, but don't buy anything too expensive. Before you continue, please leave us a like if you like this video. Number 6. Michael Jordan's card collection. Michael Jordan's card collection was known to be unique. His first notable purchase in 1987 was a Porsche 911 Carrera, for which he paid around $80,000. In 1989, Michael bought his first Jaguar XJ6, and in 1991, he became an avid collector by purchasing a custom red Ferrari F4 and a Ferrari Testarossa. Later, in 1994, Michael replaced his old Jaguar with 2 new models worth over $1 million. After retiring from basketball, Michael opened his car dealership where he sold several Ferraris and Porsches. He also used some of these cars for promotional purposes for Jordan Brand until 1999, but most of them were put back on the market. However, of his vehicles, Michael's favorite was undoubtedly his Maybach 57S, which at 12 feet long is considered one of the longest production cars ever made. It is estimated that such a luxury vehicle costs around $1 million to maintain, but that didn't seem to bother our famous star. He owns some of the most expensive unsold cars globally. There are several cars in most of the countries he has been to, so that are so costly you can never imagine how much they cost. Number 7. An absurdly expensive ring. Once upon a time, there was a ring. This ring cost $450,000. It was made from diamonds and emeralds from all over the world and took 2 years to complete. It was spectacular to look and worth more than people earn in a lifetime, not counting NBA players. Want to know the man who commissioned it? It was the legendary Michael Jordan. MJ loved rings. In addition to his absurdly expensive piece, he also had a championship ring for every year he played on his local high school basketball team. Unbelievable. No other basketball player in history has one like it. Well, except for the late Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace. He also had one for every year he played on his high school team. The only difference is that Bryant's rings are made of cheap cubic zirconium instead of authentic jewelry like MJ's. Maybe Kobe was getting less money after all, or maybe just wants people to think he spent all his money. He's only one who properly understands himself. Number 8. Gold records. Legend has it that Michael Jordan owned 15 records that played. He would play them in his locker room before every game. These records were in high demand by the fans who attended his basketball camps. We don't know what happened to all those records, but if you have them and you want to sell one for about $2,000, you could get your hands on some of MJ's money. We won't tell anyone. Number 9. Michael Jordan Steakhouse, Chicago, Illinois. If you can't afford a franchise but still want to hang out with MJ, head over to his restaurant in Chicago. It seems crazy that someone who makes tens of millions of dollars a year would open a place like Steakhouse, which offers cuts from $32.99 to $200, but it shows how seriously MJ takes his steaks. That's probably because he reportedly orders rare and well done every night for dinner. This is one of those crazy things Michael Jordan owns. The former basketball star opened his restaurant in 2009 on Ontario Street just north of State Street, just days after he retired from basketball. According to his website, dinners can expect steaks for 2 and 6 ounces and above, as well as seafood and an extensive wine list. There is even a unique table made out of reclaimed wood from courtside seats at Chicago Stadium, where Jordan played during his career with the Chicago Bulls. Jordan also owns another steakhouse in Las Vegas called Coke Club, which isn't as expensive as the steakhouse and is decorated with framed Kobe Bryant jerseys hanging on the walls. In addition to cars, bikes, and private jets, it turns out that MJ also owned a couple of helicopters. One was a Bell 206 Jet Ranger, another was a Eurocopter AS-350 Oracle. Both are single-engine helicopters with similar features but different colors. Currently, one of them is up for sale on eBay, it has an estimated value of $600,000. If you're a basketball fan, you know that one of MJ's most legendary moments came at the end of his flu game against Utah in 1987. But did you know that he had to fly home in his helicopter after the game? Because he looked so bad, his team feared he might have caught a disease. If they had waited for him to recover, they would have risked missing their fights. Fortunately for them, he recovered and arrived in time to return with them. You could tell he was out of his depth because Michael Jordan added another chapter to an already legendary career that night. Yet he didn't break any records. He wasn't an NBA champion, an alien drunk, or a last-second winner, but he was great. This brings us to the end of today's video. Tell us in the comments section which of these items owned by Michael Jordan intrigued you the most. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons to be notified when a new video is released. See you later, guys! Thanks for watching!